Hello, everybody. This is Lena Lassiter, and I am the founder and president of Forever Heal. We are a nonprofit, and what we do is we help those who are dealing with grief, well, pain associated to grief, let me say that, of any kind. We want to help them to reclaim their lives, to restore, but more importantly, we want them to recover. I have my master's in human services counseling with a cognate in PTSD and trauma. I am an advanced grief recovery method specialist, and I'm also a director in corporate America. I'm on the National Bereavement Coalition Board and active member on the National Bereavement Coalition for Homicide Service Providers. And we're also an active partner with the Richmond Police Department Victim Witness Assistance Program. But more importantly, I am a servant of God. So, um, a humble servant of God. And I do not take this calling and this gift and this ministry, I don't take it lightly. So, what are we talking about tonight? We're talking about grief and Valentine's Day. How do we conquer grief over Valentine's Day? And how do we help someone who may have lost someone um, kind of maneuver through this time, right? When we're talking about couples and all these commercials are coming on about love, and someone may have lost a spouse, or someone may have lost a fiance, someone may have lost a significant partner. So how do we move beyond that place of pain and hurt, um, and get into a place where we are coping effectively? So Valentine's Day can bring on some painful feelings for those who are grieving the loss of a loved one. Remember, grief is a form of love, right? So when you lose something or someone of value, grief just shows that we love. So, special days and anniversaries often trigger the powerful emotions of grief. But how do we effectively begin to deal with our grief when the public is focusing? The focus right now is around love. So, I'm going to give you some tips on how to help you effectively cope with your grief during this time, during this season. And then also, how do we help others? How do we help those who may have lost a spouse or a significant other, or who may have lost anyone, mother, their children, during this time on Valentine's Day, right? How do we help them? What do we do for them? So, if you are grieving during this time because you have lost something or someone that is dear and near to your heart, that's valuable to you, the first step that I want to talk about is to give yourself permission to grieve. You may say, Lena, you always say that. Yeah, because we have to give ourselves permission to grieve, because everyone wants to tell us how to grieve, how not to grieve, right? We have to give ourselves permission to grieve. And I want you to do it your way. So remember, we are fearfully and wonderfully made. We are all unique and individual. Therefore, our grief journey is not going to mirror someone else's path. So I want you to give yourself permission to grieve if you are grieving. So if that means, you shed a few tears, you shed a few tears. If that means you want to laugh and remember, something funny about them or a funny story, you do that. Play by your own rules and do it your way. The second thing that we're going to do is we're going to honor our loved one. So I want you to think of ways in which your beloved would want to be honored. So, did he or she like to paint, for an example? So, if so, you can donate art supplies to an art school, right? You can make a donation to an art school. Maybe it's in a atmosphere or environment where you have underserved children, and you can make a difference on the behalf of your loved one. Do they like to plant? Maybe you want to plant a tree or a bush or something in their memory, or donate a tree or a bush in their memory. So there are ways that you can honor your loved one that doesn't cost a whole lot of money, But again, you're keeping their memory alive. We're talking about love, right? Love Day, and I think that we receive love every day um, from our heavenly Father. But you want to practice self love. Practice self love. So grief can take an emotional toll on us who are mourning, but it can also take a physical toll on us. So often the bereaved person feels exhausted because of poor eating habits, or sometimes it's just lack of sleep and or exercise. So how do we practice self-love? Take a walk with a friend, right? Have your favorite meal delivered and spend some time with that friend. Um, treat yourself. Be good to yourself. Listen to yourself. So again, going back to number one, do it your way. Some people will tell you not to be alone, but maybe you want to be alone. And that's okay. As long as you're not depressed and isolated, maybe you want to be alone. But if you want to spend time with someone, find a friend who may also be by themselves during this time and spend time with them. Go to the mall, go walk, and go to the park. Just do something, together. Get moving. Um, and then I want you to journal. And again, you guys may say, you always talk about journaling. Yes, because journaling not only help relieve stress, but it can also help you process and organize your thoughts and feelings as you write them down. And some people will tell you to type them out or write them down. I prefer to tell you to write. I write a lot. I just write down my feelings, right? I have notebooks everywhere. And I just jot down my feelings. And for some of you who may say, well, Lena, where do I even start? I don't even know sometimes what to say, how to start journaling. And I always say, just start with the word, start with how you feel. And then ask yourself, what are some things that will help you feel better? And then you can jot that down. And journaling doesn't necessarily mean that it has to always be sad feelings, right? You can journal when you're feeling great. Because I want you to also write down your success stories, right? Those things that you want to kind of go pull back on, excuse me, as a testimony. So write down what was successful as well. So journal your thoughts. Doesn't have to always be negative thoughts. So for those of you who are just joining this video, who's just turning in, we're talking about grief. More specifically, what do we do during Valentine's Day? Right? How do we cope with our grief during Valentine's Day? Number one, we're going to give ourselves permission to grieve. We talked about that. We're unique, we're individual, so we're going to do it our way. We're going to honor our loved one. We're going to think about ways in which our loved one would want to be honored. What are some things that they enjoy doing? And then we're going to donate our time, resources, whatever that looks like, as a way to honor them. We're going to practice self love. We are going to practice self love. We're going to eat right. We're going to exercise. We're going to spend time with people that we love. We're going to practice some self love. And then we're going to journal. We're going to journal because journaling can help us to organize our thoughts and our feelings as we write them down. And a lot of times there's healing in that, right? It shows us how we are coping with our grief or not. Now, I'm always asked this question: how do we support others? What do I do for someone else who's grieving? Here's what I want you to do. I want you to call them and I want you to make a plan. So call them and you kind of listen to their lead, right? And then you can make a plan because you don't want to make plans and they really don't feel up to going out to eat or going whatever your plan may be. So you're going to call them and then the two of you are going to make a plan for that particular day and what you're going to do. I want you to also think about and consider send a card, flowers, or a personal gift. So one thing I do quite often is I will send flowers, to someone who I know has lost, a loved one on Valentine's Day. Send a card, send a flower, send a note, send a personal gift. It would definitely bring joy to their lives. Also, offer any skills that you may have. So if you are a handyman, you know, you can help someone who may have lost their husband during this time to fix some things around the house. So offer your creative services, your skills. What do you have that you can help them with? And if they have children, you can make the plan with them, right? But to help with the children on that particular day. So just reach out. Can you drive the children somewhere? Can you pick up something? And while we're talking about this, don't forget the children. So if someone has lost their husband, remember the kids have lost their father. So do something nice, for them too. So send them a card, write them a note, give them a call, as well. So don't forget the kids, but more importantly, spend that quality time. So make sure that you just make time to try to spend that time with them. Even if you're just sitting there and you're just being a heart with ears, that's more valuable, right? We talked about it before than just empty words. So I want you to try to make sure that you can spend some time with them if they're up to having you spend time with them, right? So call them, make a plan, send a card, flowers, or a personal gift. Offer any of the skills that you may have. If you can do something around the house, maybe you can even do the children's hair. Can you fix hair? Take them shopping, but don't forget the children also. So send them a card, call them as well, flowers, right? And then spend that time with them. Spend that time with them. Just sit and listen. No judging, no criticizing, no analyzing. Just sit there and be a heart with ears. So I wanted to jump on here and just do a quick video to spread some love, on this day to help those who may be struggling on this day, due to grief, loss, and pain. So as always, I just want to thank everyone who just clicked on the video, who watched it, who were blessed by it. So if you were, again, just like, heart, share it with someone who you think that it may benefit. Again, I thank you so much for watching this video. We do have an ebook that I have to tell you guys about because I want you to pick up a copy. And why do I want you to pick up a copy? Because it's helping us. There it is. Understanding Grief, Prescription for Your Broken Heart. It's going to help us to continue to offer our grief services to homicide survivors. This population is very important to us. All grievers are, but this population is personal to me because I lost someone due to homicide. So we are able to offer our services to that population at a very discounted rate. So in order for us to do that, we need your help. So go out and grab a copy of the book because the book will also bless you. Because we talk about the different types of losses, we talk about different types of grief, we talk about what you can do. We give you more tips and more details and greater details as to how you can overcome, your grief. And then we also give you tips on how you can help someone else who's grieving. Because again, I hear those questions all the time. So I wanted to put them together in a book to help you. So go on our website. We actually have a new shop tab, and you can go on there and you can order our ebook. And you can also continue to order your copies of Pursue because the book Pursue, we're also using those proceeds to help us with to serve, that population. We'll be back in 2 weeks and we're going to have a live guest. We're going to have Renata Harris with us and we're going to be talking about grief and hair loss. Did you know that grief can actually cause hair loss? Well, grief can cause hair loss, but so can other, conditions. So Renata is going to educate us. She's part owner of a salon here in Richmond, Virginia. So we're going to have her on, and she is an expert in hair loss. So she's licensed and she's certified and she's educated, around hair loss. So get your questions ready, join in, and we have other phenomenal guest speakers who are going to be coming on talking about things from colorism to how we prepare for death, like even paying for them. So we're going to have some some folks from the funeral home coming and talking, to us as well. So thank you so much for supporting us, sharing, liking, encouraging, inspiring us. So I want you guys to enjoy the rest of your love day. I want you to have peaceful rest tonight. We love you. We honor you. We respect you. And we want you to walk in your healing. And we will see you in 2 weeks. Bye.